Welcome to our Amud Yomi Shiur. We are learning Maseches Makkos. As always, we are now in Daf Tet Zayin Amud Aleph. Today's Shiur is in memory of Toiba Rivka Bas Menachem Mendel. Toiba Rivka Bas Menachem Mendel. Tomorrow is her yortzeit, but the learning in her memory can start already today. May her neshama have an aliyah. Yeah, a mother of a good friend of the Kolon. Please dedicate your learning today. Everybody here and in the other room also, I'm going to tell them the learning should be for Toiba Rivka Bas Menachem Mendel. And this year is, as always, in memory of my father, Menachem ben Akiva. My father's yortzeit this Shabbos. Menachem ben Akiva, please do good deeds in the memory of my dear father, Menachem ben Akiva. And I'm sorry if people missed the message yesterday. I tried to get to everybody. If anybody has WhatsApp, they should please WhatsApp me on a number that I'll email you, and then you'll join the WhatsApp group. Okay? You got it, yeah? בסדר, הצלחה וברוכה. שיעוז לרפואת חנה בת סימה, לרפואת פנינה חיה בסגור לאוכל, בסוך שוחד ישראל, for the safe return of all the chatufim, and may the Gans Kol Israel have tremendous Yeshua very soon. Resh Lakish Oimer, v'tarvayu aliba tetzayin amud aleph, Makkos, v'tarvayu aliba d'Rab Yehuda. We saw machloikes between two machloikesim between Rabbi Yochanan and Resh Lakish regarding Asroas Sofek. One machloikes which we'll focus on today is Asroas Sofek. What's Asroas Sofek? Asroas Sofek basically means that, please turn off the video. Welcome, thank you. Asroas Sofek means as follows. When a person is warned about something by the two Eidim, they're giving him warning, if you do so and so, lo ta'aseh, you're going to get it. Let's not focus on Malkes. It has to be Toich Kidei Dibur. It has to be right away, right before the Maisa. In other words, if at 9 o'clock in the morning, they told a guy who's about to wear shatnez, if you put this shatnez suit on your body, you're going to wear this jacket, you're going to chap Malkes, right? And second later, he put the jacket, he's chayav Malkes. But if there was a time lapse between the Asro and the Maisa, is not chayav. So therefore, Asro Sofek means if I'm giving Asro to someone, but even if he does the Avera, there's another condition to be fulfilled in order to be chayav Malkes, then there's no Asro. The Asro Sofek. Why? Let's say a person, according to Rabbi Yochanan, a person divorces his wife that is not allowed to divorce. When is that true? Oynes, she's an anusa, lo yichol l'shalcho kol yomov, and he did divorce her. A second before he gives her the get, they tell him, hey, mister, if you give him get in her hands like that, boom, you're going to get Malkes. He's going to say, how do you know? I follow Rabbi Yochanan. And Rabbi Yochanan holds that you only chayav Malkes if what? You only chayav Malkes if really you are canceling, you mevatel the chance, the opportunity to go back and remarry. As we're going to see later, let's say you're madir her. You made a neder that she won't be able to enjoy you. Then you are chayiv. Others are not chayiv, so it's a sofek. How do you guys know if I'll fulfill the second condition in order to be chayiv? And therefore, it's a sofek, right? Therefore, that's so now Rabbi Yochanan happens to be holding that a sofek is shema asra, is a good asra. That's how Rabbi Yochanan would say that he is chayiv malchus at the end of the day, because a sofek is called a good asra. Resh Lakish says no. Resh Lakish says a sofek is not asra. A sofek, it's not asra, and maybe asra that if you do the punishment, you're going to get this and that, and I can still laugh in your face and say no. There's another condition I have to fulfill in order to. Then such a law is not a law. Therefore, Shlakish really said that when it comes to divorcing the anusa, there is really no need for another condition. Once you divorce her, you chayav Malkes. You want to correct and not get Malkes? Okay, then you have to remarry her ASAP. But Kitzer, all we have to know right now is, according to Rabbi Yochanan, the sofek is a saw, it's valid. According to Rabbi Yochanan, it's not valid. Okay? We also spoke about a case of Shvua, which we'll mention again later. V'tarvayu. We are now in the fifth line. Makkos Design Amud Aleph. Aliba d'Rab Yehuda. Both Rabbi Yochanan and Resh Lakish, ironically, they both follow the opinion of the Tana Rabbi Yehuda, but each one follows him in a completely different direction. They both derived it from the same Tana, and they arrive at opposite conclusions. The Tanya says in the Braisa, what's a classical lav ha nita klase? What's lav nita klase? A lav that is correctable, remediable, whatever you want to call it, revocable by doing a mitzvah to say, don't do bad, but rather do good, meaning rather do good and get away from Malchus. Very good. And what's a classical one? Look, it says it about Pesach, but it's true about all korbanos. Don't leave the korban Pesach or any korban till the morning. Make sure you finish it up and you eat it before the morning comes. And if it's left over in the morning, burn, mitzvah say, do actively burn the korban, the leftover of the korban. Very good. Why is the Torah telling me this? The Torah is giving me a mitzvah to say, to remedy, to correct, and it's written after the lot aseh, loimar, to tell me, she'en loikin olav, diva Rabbi Yehuda. It's coming to tell me that you don't get Malchus, says Rabbi Yehuda. You don't get Malchus, azoy zok Rabbi Yehuda. Very nice. Yeah, you don't get Malchus, says Rabbi Yehuda. Okay, now, what can we derive from there? Now, that's mashma. If I stay passively, I'm being passive aggressive. I am a kohen or even a soil for Pesach. I'm supposed to eat the korban. I'm not eating the korban. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not eating the korban as I'm supposed to. I'm a food refusnik, like some little children with the poilu shamame. Yeah, he doesn't eat the food. So then, what's the Torah telling me? Still, I doesn't get Malchus because there is a remedy. There is an assay after the lav. Mashma. If the Torah wouldn't have told me the assay, the Torah wouldn't have told me to eat the korban, then I would have been Chayav Malchus. The only reason I'm not Chayav Malchus is because there is an assay that remedies, that corrects the bad deed. Mashma. Now Rabbi Yochanan and Shlakish are medayik two different things. Rabbi Yochanan is learning from this the following. Daikachi. Rabbi Yochanan is medayik this way. You have it, parent? Yeah, Rabbi Yochanan daikachi. The reason, the Boha Kosuv, the Torah took extra care to tell me mitzvah saseh, haloi ba kosuv, loike. But if the Torah wouldn't have told me anything, if the Torah wouldn't have suggested a correcting, a way to revoke it and do a mitzvah saseh, to fix it up, then I would be loike, right? I would be loike. Alma. Now listen to Rabbi Yochanan's big moment. Asro sofik shma asro. Which means whatever person is being passive, not mekayim a mitzvah saseh, the asro is always asro sofik. Why is that? Let's say 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I brought my korban. Okay, how much time is there between 3 o'clock in the afternoon till, let's say, till 6 o'clock the following morning? Yeah, more than 24 hours. So now the people would come and tell him, if you leave behind the korban, you're getting Malchus. Are you crazy? I have 12 hours. I have 24 hours. Yeah, it's not Samuch Lamaisa. And the entire day, it can work like that. Yeah, it's always a small suffix. You can never say, if you do this, when it's a mitzvah saseh, if it's an active lav, if you turn on that light right now, if you turn the lighter if you ignite the lighter, your cigarette, you're going to get skila. If you do this and that, where the shatnez, right now, you're going to get malchus. That's a solas vadai. But if it's something that relates to something passive, it's a solas suffix, because the whole day you can laugh at their face and say, well, I'll do it later. I'll eat, I will eat, until when? Until dawn, until doomsday, until dawn comes, right? That's it. Therefore, it's a continuous hasra suffix. And yet, says Rabbi Yochanan, look, you don't laugh at their faces. You see that if not for this being lavanita clase, conceptually a passive lav of what? Of a sras suffix, yeah, is a saw. Even though the asra again and again is a saw suffix, you can't connect the warning with a maisa. You never know when he'll eat it. He can always tell you, I'll eat it in 2 minutes' time, in 2 hours' time. So therefore, you see that conceptually, you deserve malchus also for asra suffix. Yeah, asra suffix shma asra. Okay, that's Rabbi Yochanan. Ve'esh Lakish. Now Resh Lakish. Dayakachi. Rish Lakish took Rabbi Yehuda's words in a different way. What did he say? Rish Lakish Dayakachi. Rish Lakish is learning Rabbi Yehuda's words differently. Time the Makkos, only because the Torah gave me the special mitzvah to say, do burn it, that remedy, that medication, that correction, please do burn it ASAP. That's why there are no Makkos. If not for that, so far it's like Rabbi Yochanan. If not for the Torah doing it as corrective, I would be loike. Alma, lav she'en b'maisa loikin olav. Oh, Rabbi Yochanan said, Rabbi Shlakish says something very different. Rabbi Shlakish says, you know what I'm taking from here? It's not because Asra Sofik. Asra Sofik and loikin. Asra Sofik, you're not loike. So why is it that you would be loike on leaving the food, leaving the korban? You know why? Because it is lav she'en b'maisa. That's the chiddush. Although it's a passive lav, and we always say that a passive lav, hands off lav, I'm not doing the right thing, and I'm over lav by not mikayim something active. I'm staying inactive, passive aggressive. Says Rish Lakish, guess what? You are loike. You are loike, right? Now, I just want you to remember what we said before I went on my grand one-day holiday. We said what? That they also argue about lav she'en b'maisa. Rabbi Yochanan holds lav she'en b'maisa ein loikin, and Rish Lakish says yes loikin. Yeah, each one they have two machloikesim. One machloikes is about lav she'en b'maisa. One machloikes is about asra sofik. Very nice. Each one took Rabbi Yochanan to a different point. Many times people look at the same picture, each one sees something else. As they say, matter of perspective. Rabbi Yochanan chose to look just at the fact that it's a sofek, and yet you chayv malchus. And Rish Lakish says, no, you're not. And Rish Lakish says, you chayv, even though it's lav she'en b'maisa, it's a passive lav. And Rabbi Yochanan says, no, on passive lav, you are loike. Something here doesn't work right. You can't say that. I want to repeat what I just said, and you guys should figure out the Gemara's next question. Rabbi Yochanan, both Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish, they don't argue about what Rabbi Yehuda said. They both know that when it comes to a korban, you're supposed to eat till the morning, right? And if not for the Torah giving special dispensation, I would be chayiv malchus on not eating the korban in time. Yeah? Now, and yet they argue, let's take argument number one. Asra sofik, yes or no? Says Rabbi Yochanan, look, it is asras, yeah? Sofik, and it's called a good asra. It's good asra. And Rish Lakish says, no, asra sofik is not a good asra. Frag the Gemara, V'Rashi ben Lakish nami havada asra sofiku. How can Rashi ben Lakish argue on the fact, ignore the fact that this is asra sofik? How can he say that? In other words, you can't pick and choose. You can't pick and choose. It's a reality that this story of not eating the korban in time is also a suffix, because the kohen or the Yisrael not eating the korban can always say Mr. Masra, Mr. Whistleblower, Mr. Warning guy, and say, I'll eat it later, right? And we see that you are, yes, loike. So how can Rish Lakish say as a suffix and not loike? That's factually not true. Yeah? In other words, let me give you a mashal. Let's say, yeah, I Baruch Hashem, I have two eyes, two, I think, brown eyes, if I'm not mistaken, and I have one nose, Baruch Hashem, right? Yeah, you'll say, I'm looking for Betachtel's eyes, and I'm looking at the nose. Okay, each one concentrates on different part of my face. But you cannot say he doesn't have two eyes. You can't say he doesn't have a nose. That you cannot say. How can Rish Lakish say outright that a sofik is not a sra? It's not true. This is sofik. We never know when he will or won't eat the korban, and yet we see it's good asra. It's very nice you took it to a different direction about lav she'en b'maisa. Thank you. But l'maisa asra sofik, it's true that it's asra sofik. It's a fact. And you see that asra does work, so how can you say it doesn't? You can't ignore that part. Answers the Gemara, a very easy answer. Savar lo ke'idach tana de Rabbi Yehuda. Rish Lakish follows a different Tana that quotes Rabbi Yehuda differently. In other words, there are two versions of Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda is quoted differently. That happens by Tanoim. Yeah, Rabbi Yehuda is quoted one way one time, the other way the other time. The Tanya. The Gemara discuss it later. Now, this is a very interesting case. There's a not such a nice joke that in certain neighborhoods, the most confusing day is Father's Day. Right? That's what I heard from my American. Don't look at me. I heard it from American friends. Yeah, it's your fault. The Tanya. Yeah. So now, in the olden days, people are not as permissive as today. There was a world before the 60s. But now what happens? There's a woman who got divorced and she remarried too early. If a woman is divorced or widowed, how much time, how long does she have to wait before she remarries? At least 3 months. What? 3 months, 90 days, whichever way you want to call it, 3 months, the whole 90 days. Why is that? Because the first 3 months, because some babies are born early, some are born late. So if she just finished a relationship with Reuven, day later she marries Shimon, yeah, there could be no one night difference between one husband and the other. Yeah, she's very quickly hopping from one after she got a kosher get to the other one, and then she gives birth. We're going to have a suffix whether, yeah, he's Reuven's kid and it's regular pregnancy. Maybe it's Shimon's child and it's an early birth, right? And let's say such a thing happened. Yeah. Let's say there's an adult man, and he has two people, both of them are the suffix father. Ooh. Now, yeah, you have a kid, his name is Chamyanko, and he knows two daddies. One is Reuven, one is Shimon, and we don't know who's the real father. Where's the DNA test? Agut Kasha. Yeah, it was invented when? In England in the 50s. That's before DNA. If you can rely on DNA halachically, ask your rabbi. But Lamaisa, yeah, there are two fathers here. There are two potential fathers. We don't know which one's who. The boy is so frustrated by not knowing his father, and he's completely messed up. So what does he do? He smacks them both in the face hard, and he causes them both to bleed. Isn't it nice? What do you expect? Such a kid, it was born messed up. The Tanya, you're getting what we're getting at? There's a suffix. What do you do to a child who hits his father, bleeding or bruising, and you gave him a straw? It's Chayav Misa. Yeah, okay, Chayav Misa. What about if he cursed him? Oh, that's going to be the case. That's going to be that's going to be the name of the game. The Tanya. Yeah, okay. The Tanya. What do you do if you curse them? B'Shem Hashem also is Chayav Misa. He kazeh Chayav Mor Chayav Skila. He kazeh v'chozav kazeh. He hit one maybe daddy, and then again afterwards he hit and bruised and damaged and injured the other maybe daddy. V'hi kazeh kilo zeh v'chozav kilo zeh. He cursed Reuven and then he cursed Shimon. May Hashem kill you. May Hashem take you away. V'chulei. Okay, one after the other. He did one 9 o'clock and the other one 9:30. Yeah, it was a fit. He kashne bevasachas, or he went like 1, 2, 3, boom. Yeah, he hit Reuven and Shimon, both maybe fathers, two fits together. Oh, can you make a movie out of this? Or kilo shne bevasachas, or he cursed them both together. B'toch kedibur. Reuven and Shimon, may you die and have cancer, and the shvigers will visit you each and every second of your life. Yeah, together, both together. Chayav is chayav. He got a straw. Oh, he got a straw in each one, right? And he's chayav. What do you mean a straw? It's a suffix. Maybe it's not your father. Wow, Rebbe. Let me talk first. Rabbeinu, excuse me. He's about to curse Reuven, but we don't know if Reuven is his father. Maybe Reuven is not his father. We'll never know until the DNA test is done, which is 100 years later. Yeah, in other words, Tanakama says that when he's about to curse, he's telling his friends, this guy, maybe he's my dad, maybe he's not. I'm gonna kill him now. I'm gonna smash his face. And he's about to smash his face, and the two good friends said, "Oh, no, don't punch the face of your maybe father. It's a suffix asra. It's a suffix because we don't know whether it's his father or not. It's a suffix, and we'll never know. And when we'll know later, too late, right? And yet, Tanakama says you chayiv. Lat. I'll hear a question later. Now, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, bevas achas chayiv. Rabbi Yehuda says no. Bevas achas, if he went 1, 2, 3, boom, both people together, he's chayiv. Why? Because mimanafshach, if I'm the aide and my friend the aide will say, don't hit Reuven and Shimon, you're chayiv. Because mimanafshach, one of them is your father, and it's one action. With that one action, two maybes are for sure. He's smashing the face, excuse my language, sorry, getting violent, of both Reuven and Shimon at the same time. So whichever side you look, there is a father here, right? In one Maisa, that's a source vadai. But bezecher ze potu, aha, If he wants to do Reuven, and we tell him, no, don't do that. If you do this, if you smash Reuven's face, you'll maybe. What do you mean maybe? That's a philosophic. And later on we say, no, don't bruise Shimon's face. Maybe. That's a philosophic. Mimela Rish Lakish listened to this voice of Rabbi Yehuda, who is telling us that a philosophic is not called a slaw. Questions, Rabbi? I'm willing to your question now, or was it answered? Rabbi Tzvi. MS? Shall I repeat? I'll repeat. Again, we're
Think it makes a difference whether it was the Helam Achas.
no Helam. It's done knowingly. My seichod. Absolutely. Not me. The Gemara says it. Yes. She'll explain why. Because when he does it in one go, listen, guys, I can't take it anymore. I'm so messed up, and my psychologist told me they're all their fault. These two maybe fathers. I'm going to smash the faces of both, maybe A and maybe B, right? And he's telling this to two good frum friends. The two good frum friends are telling him, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Boom. The one hitting of both faces, right? Or both arms or both legs. Why? Because Memanavshach, you're hitting your father. There's no suffix about Levi. This woman is not a Zoyna. She's not an easy girl. It's either Reuven or Shimon. She's an otherwise frum woman. Reuven or Shimon, that's the only question, right? The Seder? So Mimanavshach, if he's about to hit Reuven and Shimon, he's about to hit his father. Yes, within one Maisa. Helam is not the word because Helam is Beshoigig. Yeah, within one Maisa B'tochid Dibra, the Asra. Then he's Chayev. Because that's Asra's Vadai, right? Either or, whichever case, right? Masha'en Ken, when it comes to one after the other, 9 o'clock, he got us all. Don't hit Reuven, you're maybe dead. Then 10 o'clock, don't hit your maybe dead Shimon. Then what? Thank you. Says Rabbi Yehuda, that's a suffix. You must say that maybe I'm hitting my father, maybe not. Therefore, says Rabbi Yehuda, that's yet another case of a suffix, and according to Rabbi Yehuda and Potu, and who's celebrating now, smiling in the corner? And Rish Lakish says, you debated with me before. Here's my source. I'm not listening to the first Rabbi Yehuda. I'm listening to this Rabbi Yehuda. This is my favorite Rabbi Yehuda. It's the same Rabbi Yehuda. I mean, another opinion quoting Rabbi Yehuda. Yeah, I like this Rabbi Yehuda more. I believe that's right Messiah, that's right Svara, and I believe that Saw Safek is not as Saw. So says Rish Lakish based. Yeah, are we better? Yeah. Okay. Rabbi Yochanan Nami, I can see you. 1 second. Yeah, another question. Yeah. Hi, Rabbi Yochanan. Now we're asking the same question. We're turning the table to Rabbi Yochanan Nami. Avada lav shen b'maisehu. What did Rabbi Yochanan say? Rabbi Yochanan said, as we know, as is halacha, lav shen b'maise ein loikin olav. Right? Rabbi Yochanan says, as we know, a passive lav, a passing meaning you're breaking a lav by not doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's many things. You're not putting on tefillin. Yeah, you wear tzitzis without putting the confess inside. You're mevatel. Yeah, no, that's not a good. That's shtuyot. What I said, shtuyot. Just bitul aseh. Excuse me. No, nonsense. What I just said now. Delete. No, tefillin tzitzis are bitul aseh. Sorry. This is lav shen b'maiseh, which means it says don't stay passive. Yeah. Don't do the passive thing. Don't stay passive. Don't be a silent partner. Watch the korban as it's lying there on the table in Beis Hamikdash, and you just ignore it and not eat it. That's not like tefillin. Sorry. Don't be, over on a lav in a passive way, passive aggressive. Yeah, good. Yeah. So now, lav shen b'maisu. So how can Rabbi Yochanan say lav shen b'maisu ain't looking olav? Not true. You see that unless it was lav nita klase, when you leave over a korban, you would have, yes, bichayev malchus. How can Rabbi Yochanan ignore that and just choose to look at the sauce, this, I saw that? Lav shen b'maisa. Sovar Allah, Zok Degma, who Sovar Allah. Again, Rabbi Yochanan has a different source of Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yochanan is another source regarding Rabbi Yehuda. What's the source? Sovar Allah kihad, Omar Rabbi Idi bar Abin, Omar Rabbi Amram, Omar Rabbi Yitzchak, Omar Rabbi Yochanan, and they say that, 1 second, Omar Rabbi Yochanan, V'oimer hoy Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda used to say, Oimer Mishum Rabbi Yosei Glili. Rabbi Yosei Glili was the Rebbe of Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda is quoting his Rebbe. And what does his Rebbe say? Kol lotaise shebatoira. This is important. Lav sheyesh b'maise loikin olov. Lav sheyesh b'maise and loikin olov. You can't get clearer than that, guys. This is black and white. All the lavim in the Torah, yesh b'maise, you get malchus. There's no Maisa. It's a passive. I'm breaking the law, breaking a law by not acting. I don't get Malchus, Chutz, except for three cases. Chutz min nishba, a person who makes a shvua and then he is loike, even though it's a lav shen b'maisa, he gets Malchus. Now Rashi points out it's a stira. We saw in the previous Amud you don't get Malchus, that you don't get Malchus. Says Rashi, and that's a drosha which we see in different masechtas. There's a difference between shvua of the past or the future. If I say I will eat and you didn't, I swear to you I will eat the healthy. You tell the dietitian or your wife, I will eat the broccoli and the lettuce and the cabbage without any condiments. Of course, I swear I'll do it. And from some odd reason you didn't, yeah, okay, then you don't get Malchus. If you swear that you ate the broccoli and you didn't yesterday, you do get Malchus. That's a different Inyan. But conceptually, Shvua, although it's Lav Shen B'maisa, you're only talking and you're not acting, you conceptually get Malchus. It's an exception to the rule. Umeimer, we saw that, remember? In the Rambam, Meimer, a person who takes a behema and says, this behema is holy, was mukdash, was mukdash, consecrated to Beis Hamikdash to be an oila, I'm transferring the oila from one behemoth to the other. Well, both behemoths are oila. First of all, you didn't gain anything, and also you get malchus. Yeah, lo yomi. It says lo yomi, not allowed to do it, even though it's verbal. There's a special chumah you get malchus. The makalel is chaver b'shem. The one who's mekalel, who curses his friend and says, B'Shem Hashem, I wish you get machla, b'chas v'sholem, I wish you die, B'Shem Hashem, you get malchus. But in any event, all other lav, she'en b'maise, all other lavim that are just in speech or inactive, you don't get malchus. So you can ask me whatever you want from the korbanos and the eating and the pesach, I don't care. I listen to the other opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. That's all, that's what Rabbi Yochanan says. And that's also what Rabbi Lakish says. Frek de Gemore, kasha der Rabbi Yehuda. In other words, whichever way you look at it, the problem now, you pass the buck to Rabbi Yehuda. Because Rabbi Yehuda seems to contradict himself, right? We see Rabbi Yehuda saying this and that. Both Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish, yeah? Each one says, I believe Rabbi Yehuda is A, and then there's Rabbi Yehuda B. I thought Rabbi Yehuda is one person. So how can Rabbi Yehuda say two different things? So the Gemara, it's not a problem. Ila Rabbi Yochanan, I already gave you the answer. Two different Tanoim quoting Rabbi Yehuda differently. You ask nowadays, four of Rechim, what did Rabbi Yashiv say about this and that? They'll give you four different opinions about what Rabbi Yashiv said. And he did live 100 years ago. I'm saying this out of knowledge. Yeah, I've also been to Rabbi Yashiv more than once. People misunderstood him, unfortunately. You had to know really how to talk, how he meant what he said. You have to know how to interpret him. Yeah, Bekitzer, Rabbi Yashiv is unfortunately oft misquoted, and even if it's not misquoted, we are talking about Tanoim. Rabbi Yehuda, one person understood Rabbi Yehuda to be saying this, the other one understood Rabbi Yehuda to be saying that when it comes to Asra Sofik. Rabbi Yochanan, yeah, what about Rabbi Yochanan? Lo kasha, it's even better. Why? Hadidei Hadi Rabbi. Very good. Meaning, what's Hadidei Hadi Rabbi? If you followed closely, the first Rabbi Yehuda about Korban, about the Noisel, which claimed that you should get Malchus by Lav Shen B'maise, that was Rabbi Yehuda. The other time Rabbi Yehuda quoted, I told you who, his Rebbe, Rabbi Yossi Glili. He argues in his own Rebbe. The person can do that sometimes. Rabbi Yehuda argues, and when it comes to Rabbi Yossi Glili, he's making a very dramatic quote. All Lav Shen B'maise, and like in Olav. And that's what I follow. He himself thought otherwise. He himself argued when it comes to Korban, he said that even though it's inactive, and still you are Chayev Malchus. Okay? Very good. So Lamaisa, let's summarize. We have two Machlokisim here. We have Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish, and they're arguing two things. One, Asra Sofek Shmo Asra, Lo Shmo Asra. Secondly, Lav She'en B'maise, yes or no Malchus. Very good, that's all. Happy? So? Oh, Rebbetzin will get a note. Very nice. I'm joking, by the way, people online. I don't really give notes to the wives, would you like me to? A very good question, which is asked by Rashi and Achroinim. I was trying to avoid it. The question is as follows. Let's say a person is supposed to eat the korban right, until dawn, b'doraisa, b'dorban, until chatzos. You're supposed to eat the korban until morning. Yeah, when the morning comes, then it's that's a deadline. So why is it always called a saw sofek? Because how can you give a saw to, let's say, Mr. Cohen? No, eat the chatas, eat the chatas. If you don't eat the chatas, you're alive. He'll always tell you, in a minute, later, right? When will my teenager make up the room? Some point later, soon, in a minute. The minute is till next Pesach. Very good, nice, good. So now, however, there's a deadline. Why? Frekt Shalom, a messenger, lechoiro. If I give him a saw 5 minutes before Alois Shachar, let's say Alois is the deadline. If you don't eat it right now, that's a deadline. You're going to get Malchus. Why can't we say that's a Sawas Vadai? Rashi asks your question in Tmura, in Gittin. Rashi says, and I don't understand Rashi, that's why I was trying to avoid the question. Rashi says it's hard for the Masre to be mechaven to that right moment. I don't know why, and if you want to know why, it's a good question. Ask your local Orthodox. I wanted to ask Reuven Berman, but it's in England right now. And the kids are, and I couldn't email him this morning. I don't know. It's a good question. But Rashi says you can't be mechaven that right moment before Alois, before the deadline. So that's Rashi's answer. Yeah, today we have a luach. Yeah, you can look at the luach of Rav Tikuchinsky. It's 5:54 is Alois, but even then there are machloikesim. So 2 minutes before Alois, you can give him a saw. I hear. Rashi says you can't be mechaven. You can't exactly minimize and pinpoint that right moment before the deadline. That's Rashi's answer. If we understand it or not, that's another shaila. I know the Achronim talk about it. I didn't get to see that, unfortunately. I'm hearing your question. Let's talk now about Shiluach HaKein. Oh, non-awesome. I always thought, and I was partially right, that Shiluach HaKein is a classical case of Lav Anita Klase. What does it say about Shiluach HaKein? Let's read from the sidebar. The sidebar keeps running away from me. It says, כי קורא כאן ציפור לפניך, בדרך בכל עץ על אורץ, אפרוחים וביצים, לא תיקח האם על הבונים. Don't take the mother over the children. Don't take the mother, and the mother is still there, and you're taking the beitzim, and the mother is still there, and you're holding her, and she's watching it. That's cruel. What should you do? שלח יסוהם והבונים תיקח לך. There is even a song like that, the London Boys Choir. שלח יסוהם. Send away the mother. So we always thought it's Lavanita Klase, right? In other words, if you hold the mother there, no, you take them, quickly shoo away the mother, and then will be a remedy for that. Shoo away the mother, and then will be okay for you to keep the kids. Okay. However, we're going to see some machloekes now. I want to remind you before we continue, introduction/review. Do we always say Lavanita Klase when we have an aseh and a lav mentioned together? Not always. Sometimes the aseh is not the remedy for the lot aseh. Sometimes the aseh works separately, separate unit. In other words, sometimes the Torah says, for example, by the Tomeh, hey, you, get out of Beis HaMikdash. That's a mitzvah to say, and there's a lot to say, don't stay there. You're not allowed to be here, okay? But it doesn't mean it's remedial. Doesn't mean it's correctable. It's two separate stories, and you still get Malchus, therefore. It's not like the mitzvah to say is the good end, the happy end, instead of the Malchus, which is the tragic end. Rather, it's two separate units working independently. There's an aseh and lot aseh. But still, if you broke the lot aseh, you have Malchus. It's a separate unit. Don't do it. And if you do, the default punishment in the Torah, as we know, Malchus, there's an aseh, actually it's a separate thing. Regarding Shiluach HaKen, apparently it's a machloikes. Non-awesome. Hanoitel em alabonim. A person who did take the mother with the children, he took the children, the mother is holding there, and he's taking the kids while the mother is watching and is making a fried egg. He's continuing, the mother is around, the mother bird flapping her wings. So that's also, there's an aseh, there's a lot aseh. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, loike ve'eina meshaleach. You get Malchus and you don't send the mother, or even if you did later, too late. You get Malchus, the Torah says, do send the mother, says Rabbi Yehuda, no, it's not lav anita klase. That is like lav shekodmo yaseh. Yeah, although here the love is the S is later, doesn't make a difference. It's two separate units. You over a love, you have to get Malchus. Sending the mother, too late. You can be maybe can be Mekayim the Aseh if your back's not hurting you from 39 Malchus. In other words, two separate cheshbonis. It's not that the Aseh is correcting the love. There's a love, and we love you so much, we give you 39 lashes. It's all out of love, you know. And then besides that, there's a mitzvah saseh shkoyach. Ein Mashalach means it won't help you anymore, right? That's a separate cheshbon. That's Rabbi Yehuda. By the way, this is good to see you for Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan is the one who said it. Look, Rabbi Yehuda is saying it before Shetana. I'm very happy. The Chachamim oimrim shalech ven aloike. Oh, Chachamim say no Malchus. Don't get violent over here. When the Torah says shalach etem, that what's that? Classical. Lavanita klase. The lav is correctable by an assay. Send away the mother, mister, and then you don't get Malchus. Okay, very nice. Zeklal, and the Gemara, the Mishnah continues. Kol mitzvahs lo ta'aseh sheyesh bakum aseh. Any mitzvahs lo ta'aseh that has an assay in it, en chayovin alea. Okay, meaning Chachamim say when the aseh and lo ta'aseh together, we tend to say the aseh is correcting the lo ta'aseh. Kitzalav benita klase. You don't get Malchus. Do the right thing. Correct your bad deed, and all will be well. You'll be a good boy. Nobody's going to slap you or smack you or anything. Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Now, Rabbi Yochanan. Let's now remember. This is all good summary from before. How did Rabbi Yochanan define correcting? Remember, what did Rabbi Yochanan say? Rabbi Yochanan says bitul ve'enu bitul, mevatel ve'enu mevatel, which means says Rabbi Yochanan. You can never get Malchus because you can always say, I'll send the mother later. I'll send her eventually. I'll send the mother. Seriously, he's not Chayiv Malchus. When is he Chayiv Malchus? When he was mevatel biyadayim, he was really mevatel the chance, the opportunity, the potential to do the asay. Meaning, he killed the mother. Then he would be Chayiv Malchus. But before that, he's not Chayiv Malchus as long as he left the option open to be mishalech the mother. See under the divorce of the anas. We'll compare them soon. Yeah. So now Rabbi Yochanan, being Rabbi Yochanan, he says, no, you're telling me zeh klal. The Tana didn't really mean zeh klal that there are so many mitzvahs where Allah vanita klal say. There's only one. Only this rule only applies to shiluach haken. And one more mitzvah, and you know what that mitzvah is. There's only this and one more mitzvah in which, if you're not mekayim the asay, you chayiv malchus, because you mevatel the asay, there's only this and one more. As the Gemara develops, we'll understand more and more. You know what the other mitzvah is? The manes who divorced. Which one is the other one? Where else do you have a mitzvah which I create a point of no return? Where is there another mitzvah connected to Avera that I'm only chayev, because I got to a point where I cannot be mekayim the mitzvah. Not that I'm not running to do it. Now I'm creating a situation of burning the bridge, unable to do the mitzvah. By the bird, I understand. You killed the bird. The Rambam says you broke its wings, its legs. You made it. You made it handicapped. Can't the bird? You can't send it away to fly, or you killed it. To kill a mockingbird, Mefurish pasuk. You killed the bird, then what? You can't do anything anymore. Then I understand. What's the other mitzvah? Where's there another mitzvah? You can create a mitzvah of being unable to bechlal ever, make it fly back, not fly, mekayim the mitzvah. Omar le lechitishkach, you'll find it. Don't ask me. Look hard and you'll find it. Nafak dak ve'ashkach. He went out, meaning he went out of his comfort zone, and he looked more and more. Bingo, he found one more mitzvah, the Tanya, as we saw in the Brisa. Oines shegirish. Oines, a guy, a woman, forcing him to marry her by her will, and now he was megarisher, was over love. Lo yuchal l'shalcha kol yomov, and he was meshalecher, and Ellen, the girushin is valid but an avera, but kekoy marrying a grusha. If the guy is Israel, no Malchus, just bring her back, remarry, make a nice chasana, say that you are her husband, don't get Malchus. Kohen is a separate story because a Kohen can't remarry a Grusha. or marry, yeah, so he gets Malchus because you can't tell him to be Machzir. You should know, by the way, when the Torah says to marry there's droshes in the Torah that I think somebody asked this here before. The chiyuv to marry the anusa is only there if it doesn't collide, if it doesn't contradict other averos. Yeah, if the ma'anis was a kohen and she was a grusha, no, grusha one is she's a besula. Let's say it's not a good example. But kids are mamzeres, I don't know. Kids, if he can't marry her, then we don't tell him to marry her halachically. It doesn't override psula chisun. Yeah, so mimele, if he's a kohen, she's a grusha, he doesn't give her back. Oh, so now here's the other case. Regarding oines. Now, the case of oines, what are we saying? That oines is the case in which you burn the bridges. There's a situation in which not only you're not remarrying, you cannot remarry, and you naughty boy, me'anes, who divorced, you created that situation of not being able to marry again. I kept telling you what that secret formula is because Rashi said it, but the Gemara will only figure it out now. The Gemara only figure out now, how could there be a situation that a non-Kohen regular nice guy is a nice guy? You know, he's been to he was honest once, now he's a good guy. He wants to remarry her, she wants, and all of a sudden he says, no, I'm not remarrying you, and I'm making a maisa of, I'm burning the bridges, I'm doing something that will make it unable for me to marry you again. Yeah, how would that be? How would that be ever true? What? Wait. I know you know. Let's now we're restarting. Now, so first of all, the Gemara says, good. If you follow a shlakish that says that if you're not mekayem the asay, meaning if you're not remarrying, you right away get malchus. Well, now it's a bit of and we're hopping back a little bit to a shlakish. What did shlakish say? A shlakish is not so nice to the guy. A shlakish says the second you divorced her, no other conditions, you have malchus now. Malchus now, Mashiach now, Malchus now. Elamai, if you marry her, you'll get out of the current punishment. So then clearly, the moment says, now maybe tomorrow when I have time, when I finish my PhD. Oh no, not when you finish your PhD, finish the Ben Azmanim. If you're not married, you're Chayv Malchus Mister right now. If you're not putting the ring on her finger, oh, there's a nice, very nice kind of cool looking whip over there. That's a shlakish, then it's clear. We're not looking for him to burn the bridges. You chayv straight away. Rabbi Yochanan who says no, you only chayv if you're not remarrying because you cancel the option. Yeah, you burnt your bridges of being to remarry. How is that true? We're redoing everything. By we found very easily you can't do it anymore. Rashi keeps saying you killed the bird, you killed the mother, Even Rabbi Yochanan loses his patience. Even Rabbi Yochanan says, when you're okay, you can always say, I will send the mother. But once you kill the mother, you can't say, I will send her. She can't fly, she's dead. You're the Gilgul. She can't fly, the mother. What do you want? So therefore, if you created that matzav, you chai malchus. How do you have a situation in which you divorced the woman, fine, not so fine, but you did, and you cannot remarry her. How did you create that matzav? How on earth? One very easy, simple solution. The kotla, he killed her. He killed the girl. Yeah, that would do the trick. You can't marry a dead person, halachically. I think even by going, I don't think it's fashionable. Ida kotla, you killed the woman, and this is how you created a point of no return, irrevocable. Hordus kept his wife dead, but most people don't. Ida kotla, if you killed her, you know why that wouldn't work mitzad archiv? It's a kimle. Remember kim? In other words, we're looking to give him malchus. We're saying when he got to that very final finite point of no return, you can't marry her, you get malchus. If you killed her, he's chayev saif. We slash his throat. Yeah, we cut his head off. So there's no malchus before because we follow Rabbi Akiva. Chazering, the beginning of the perek, right? If a person gets misa and malchus, he only gets misa, not malchus. So there's no malchus. We're looking for malchus here. We're learning malchus, another solution. Oh, he's the one who's instrumental in her process of remarrying another guy. She had enough of that rapist who divorced her. Yalla, I prefer another guy from some odd reason. I'm not sure why. She's looking for someone else. And he The me'anis, he was accepting kiddushin for her from someone else, right? He was shliach slash doiche. We're going to discuss that. Another guy, a nice guy, I don't know, Naftali. Naftali decided he's marrying her, and her ex-husband says, "Okay, great, I'll be instrumental. I don't want you either, and I'll receive kiddushin from someone else." And then being instrumental, you have Malkus, because once she's married to another guy, she can't marry you, right? Even if she divorces Naftali, she can't go back to Mr. Manis, right? Because we all know that's halacha. Amarav, what do you mean he accepted Kedushin from someone else? If it's like I thought, she made him a shliach. She said, "Listen, Mr. X, listen, Mr. Anas X, who raped me, who and then divorced me against the halacha. I'll do you the favor. I'll make you shaliach. You'll be my messenger, my shliach. Remember kiddushin? You'll be my shliach to receive kiddushin, shliach kabbalas kiddushin, to get kiddushin from my new fiance, from my new husband. Then what do you want from him? She's the one who canceled it. He's just what? A puppet. Shluch shlodem k'moisoi. And shluch l'dvar avera? No, that's only when the shaliach has an avera. He has no avera, right? She is remarrying. He has no avera. She is allowed to marry another guy. She is allowed to marry another guy. He's not supposed to abandon her forever. But if she opts for another guy, great. You ask this question. Here's the answer. So Mimela, everything is kosher. She is the one who took the initiative finally, and she said, "I want to marry another guy." She sent him to be shliach. What do you want from me? You're giving me Malkus? I'm a puppet in her hands, and I'm not abating. I'm not adding and abetting a dvar avera. No, because for her it's not an avera. Right? I'm allowed to serve you rice on Pesach. Sorry for the example. Not eat rice. I daven in a Sephardi shul every day now. Yeah, so, right? So, Ika mevatel. So, she's mevatel. Ilo shavisa shliach. Elamai, she didn't make him shliach. And he decided, Mr. First Husband, Mr. X, he decided to accept Kiddushin on her behalf without telling her from another guy. Does that work? We're not in Saudi Arabia. Chol kamine. V'loy klum. It's nothing. You can't get kiddushin for a girl from another guy, from any guy, yeah, whether you're connected to her or not. Obviously not. She has to want it lechatchila. You can't work on her behalf without telling her, "I'm not going to chovin zochin mechtesi." Yeah. So mimela, right? So that's not a solution. You can't say that he created that point of no return, that he burned the bridge by receiving kiddushin. It's either her maisa or it's, excuse my language, baloney. It's nothing. Rabbi Rosen. Not only made a neder. Oh, what kind of neder? We're going to see soon. He made a neder. Now, neder, people, hugely, not everyone, I'm not choshed you. In most cases, and the classical example of neder is not like the goyim, God bless them, I vow to do something. Neder means I forbid myself a certain object for me, yeah, or forbid the object on other people, but the object belongs to me. Shvua is I will or I want to do. I ate the pizza, I ate the broccoli, I will drive the car, I won't go to Thailand. These are all actions, shvua. Neder is about an object. My body is an object, I'm not joking now, and I'm answering my body on that woman. I'm answering her body on me. That's neder. Neder means to take an object or a person and say, this item, this object is forbidden for me, or my object is also on others, right? So Hedira berabim, Rabbi means he took a whole lot of people, a minion or many people, and in their presence, which makes it much stronger and irrevocable. Nedorim are flexible. If I make a neder on my own, I madir carbohydrates, Atkins, madir carbs on me. Yeah, then realize it's not shaykh. I go to the chacham and he will, deal with it. Yeah, do a hatoro, not a hafara. Yeah. Rabbim, according to this opinion, you can't. He made a neder. What kind of neder? Says Rashi, you can't be madir, yeah, you can't be madir yourself on her. Why? Because you're meshuba to her. Since you're supposed to remarry her and give her tashmish and give her a no, you can't be madir yourself on her. Says Rashi, he claims the husband, he found it dvar avera. He claimed that he was a zoina, she was a zoina. He claimed that she did something also, and therefore he's making the neder. The Tosfos asks, what do you mean? If he's a deal about, then he's right, he's doing the right thing. If really she was a zoina, he's not supposed to remarry her. Therefore, says Tosfos, a very tricky thing. It says no. You know which neder you can do? Kodem tashmishach olai. You cannot say my tashmish is also on you. Tashmish is very mutual. To say my tashmish is also on you, you can't do that. You're subjugated to your wife. You're mechuyev to give oin to your wife or to your wife to be in case of grusha. You're supposed to marry her and continue the tashmish to her no. So you know what you can do? Let's be shticky. I'll say I madir your hano on me. So mimela, there's no tashmish, right? I'll give you what I want, but I'm madir your no for me. That's impossible because it's a mutual ma'isa. Mimela, he finds a way to be madir her on him. I forbid that body of yours on me, and mimela, and I'm doing it berabim. Point of no return. I cannot revoke and change that neder, and since therefore I cannot halachically remarry you, and that happy note, Bezdin give him 1, 2, 3, boom, 39, boom, 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 because now you have crossed the red line, even according to Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan lost his patience with you, mister. Rabbi Yochanan lost his patience with you, right? That's it. Why? Up until now, I will. Okay, we're waiting up to a point. Your madir, her on you, means you cannot, you're oiker, you eradicated the nisuin. That's it. Now, clearly, this is now what? Chayv Malkus. Yeah, love, which is, it was nita klase. Thank you. You now are pulling out the aseh. You're eradicating the aseh, and now you're going to get Malkus. Just one more before your questions. Frek de Gemore, that's all very nice. You're assuming that a neder that was done in public is a neder that cannot be ever annulled. That's not always true. According to the man Domar that says, neder that mudar in the presence of many people is no afora, there is such an opinion because we assume why? We assume that they're the ones who agree to the neder. Meaning, you hear the rabbim? The point of rabbim is not to make it dramatic. We assume that they are like nodding their heads and they're agreeing. Yeah, in other words, so it's not up to you. It's kilu their madir, not you. It's out of your hands. But there's a madamar that says yesh afora. Yeah, because you don't know if they agreed. Everything I tell you agree. No, sometimes you're silent and you're not exactly agreeing or into it. So maybe there's still hafara. Maybe it can be changed. Michael Mema, then how would you say? When can you find a case of a guy who burned the bridge so strongly, who made it completely impossible to remarry by Madir by Rabim? There is an opinion that says that even if the neder is done in the presence of many, it can be revoked. The Madir Allah al da'as Rabim. He's not Madir in front of people who are like, after shul. They used to do it, in Europe also, to mention Shulchan Aruch, sometimes people would bang and make a neder in the presence of the people of the shul to, kind of get everyone's support and haskama. I Madir Chaim Yankel for coming to my shop. My Madir Mano of my butcher shop from Chaim Yankel, the Manuvel, the Soita, the Meshugana, whatever, and everyone's like, okay. So now, if everyone's like looking me quizzically, maybe they disagree. But Das Rabim, according to Rashi in the thing Gittin and so, he says they're asking him, they're telling him, yes, be Madir. We're asking you to be Madir, that girl from your Tashmish, or her Tashmish from you, Mamish with a clear Das, their consent, no change. That you cannot revoke anymore. The Meimar Hilchasad, Alocha is, and that's Shulchan Aruch also, Neder Shudar B'Rabim Yesh Lo Aforo. If the neder is done in the presence of many, it can still be made for and assume not everyone may have agreed. Al Das Rabim Ein Lo Aforo. If the neder is done with the active consent or even initiative of the Rabim, they want the neder. He convinced them, maybe there's all 10 friends who don't want him to get in that abusive relationship with that girl, and they're encouraging him, they're whipping him up. Yeah. Be noider, Rabim, be noider, not to be with her anymore, whichever way it is. And la for so at the moment of that moment, so let's repeat. According to Rabbi Yochanan, let's summarize. It's summertime. So now, according to Rabbi Yochanan, if a person divorced his Grusha, divorced his Anusa. His Anusa is now Grusha too. She has a lot of titles. So, according to Ashlakish, boom. At this happy second, you are Chayv Malkus, mister, and we can give you a throw straight away. right before giving the get, I'm the Shlakish now, my friends. A second before giving the get, they say, listen, if you're putting the get in her hand, it's a very specific Maisa. It's not this open-ended, I will eat the kachim when I want tomorrow, boom. No, if you're about to give her the get into her hand, Azoi, then you're going to get Malchus. Is that true? I don't care. I'll get Malchus, 39. It's better to get 39 Malchus than living with that woman. Okay. So then what do? Are we giving Malchus straight away? No. No. He's Chayiv Malchus. He may be able to, Beis Din summons him again. Beis Din says, now you're Chayiv Malchus, mister, now already. Are you willing to remarry or not? If he says yes, Mazel Tov, what a good boy. If not, we'll give him Malchus straight away. No Malchus. That's it. The existing Malchus are now coming to fruition. Yeah, we exercise it. Yeah, we actualize it. But Sheikh and Rabbi Yochanan says no. Now, that's called kiyamo v'lo kiyamo, where you mekayim the mitzvah, not mekayim the mitzvah. You can be mekayim mitzvahs, remarrying, and then get rid of the existing punishment of Malchus. Rishlakish. Ad kan kofa aleph Rishlakish. Rabbi Yochanan says no. Rabbi Yochanan says, when are you chayev? When the Eidim say, if you divorce her, you're going to get Malchus, that works because it's a sras sofek. We don't know whether he'll get Malchus or not. We don't even know if he'll be chayev Malchus. Why? Because the second she got the get, he's now in a twilight zone. He did 1 out of 2 steps. It's like installing a program on your computer. Yeah, he did 1 out of 2 steps. He divorced her. He's not yet chayev Malchus. We tell him, hey, mister, no, marry her, remarry her. Yeah, I'm all pro remarrying her when soon, in a week's time. Yeah, I will. I promise you I will. He's not chayev Malchus. I'm sure even according to Yochanan, Beis Din loses their patience at some point, but Lamaisa, you're not chayev Malchus right now, right? The next week he comes to Beis Din, and you know what he does? Instead of saying again, manana, he says, now I am mevatel, not mekayim, mevatel, the option of, I'm mevatel the asay. I madir here, in front of Beis Din and 10 people, I madir her for my tashmish. No, her tashmish for me, according to Tosfos, because he's tricky. He's allowed to do that. Yeah, I'd like to give her everything and remarry her, but she, not to me. But Kitzer, he's making it impossible to remarry. Ooh, now, according to Rabbi Yochanan, he starts being chayiv Malchus. The chayiv Malchus only began now, as opposed to Rish Lakish. He only started when he broke. Yeah, that's it. He got to a point of no return because he really cannot marry her again, and therefore, and then he's chayiv. And the original straw works, a straw sofek, according to Yochanan. And therefore, at that point, is chayiv. Same thing with what? Shiluch haken. If you took away the kids and the mother is still potentially there, you're not chayiv Malchus. You broke the wings of the mother, you killed the mother, then what? At that point, says Rabbi Yochanan, mister, come to me and you'll get Malchus. Because you're not mekayim the essay, you are actively mevatel the option of the essay. And then you are chayev Malchus, you did not use the Torah's remedy of lavanita klase. Good? Givaldi. Frag the Gemara, we'll finish with that just to give you a taste of the next thing. The Gemara is asking, Vitu Leika? Really? According to Rabbi Yochanan said there are only 2 cases, right? According to Rabbi Yochanan, who's very particular in his level of Landita Klase, are there only 2 cases? B'chol Torah Kula, all 613, only 2 lavim are there that you can actually get to a point of being unable to perform the mitzvah. Is that so? The Gemara didn't come up with all kinds, a whole list of averas, yeah, or a mitzvah that you can cancel and annul and make it impossible to do the mitzvah. What are these mitzvahs? And what do we do with them? According to Rabbi Yochanan, all this and more this coming Sunday. Stay tuned. Sunday is coming. Shabbos, get Shabbos. Sunday we're going to deal with so many interesting issues. So stay with us and watch us on YouTube and on the Heilige Choshuva Teire anytime. Thank you all.